Good morning, everybody. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Mary Bartkowski, and I am part of the Teacher Effectiveness team. And welcome to our mini Car Wash PD series. Car Wash because you get in, you get the learning, and you get out in 15 minutes or less guaranteed. This morning, I have the pleasure of introducing Klara Huss. She is going to talk about student engagement. And let me stop sharing on my end. And Klara, I am going to spotlight you, and you can take over whenever you feel ready.
Good morning. So as I said, as Miss Mary said, my name is Klara Huss. I'm a teacher of Spanish, Italian, and social studies at Proximity. I teach Spanish. And today I will be talking very briefly about engagement. So what is an engagement? What are the types of engagement? What are the three main factors that influence engagement? This is something that we will probably discuss a little bit today. Next time, we will talk about the strategies for high school students' engagement, and we will share some personal views. So when I hear the word engagement, I always think about one class. I think about this class. I think I don't want that my class looks like this.
Raised tariffs in an effort to collect more revenue for the federal government. Did it work? Anyone? Anyone know the effects? It did not work, and the United States sank deeper into the Great Depression. Today, we have a similar...
So I wanted my class, more or less, and it's a dream that comes true, looks like this. So this is a kind of a dream of all teachers, that we have students that are involved, they are happy, but it's not the reality. Why? Students' life circumstances have changed. So students are dealing with stress, trauma, and pandemic, economic recession, and social unrest, just all these things that kind of have a huge impact on our students. So therefore, we have to kind of deal with the problem, how to engage our students in person first, and now obviously online in proximity learning, it's 100% online engagement. So now, what is an engagement today? So we hear about it all the time. When I was a teacher 20 years ago, I started, or when I was a student, I kind of did not hear much about engagement, but now we hear that word all the time. And the concept of student engagement is predicated on the belief that learning improves when students are inquisitive, interested, or inspired, and that learning tends to suffer when students are bored, dispassionate, disaffected, or disaffected, or otherwise disengaged. Now I have here one chat, so I just read it very briefly, and I put it in a slideshow. So this is a concept of engagement. So engagement can be seen as the glue that holds together all aspects of student learning and growth. When students display high levels of behavioral, emotional, and cognitive engagement, they are more likely to excel academically, form a stronger sense of connection with their school, and have a more positive sense of social and emotional well-being. So when we talk about engagement, the educators may hold many different views on student engagement, and it may be defined or interpreted differently from place to place. So now I have been just streaming from Germany. I am now, it's 2 o'clock in Germany, in Nuremberg. Trust me, engagement in a European country, it looks completely different than engagement in US. So I am going back to US. So I'm a teacher in a US school too. So, but if I compare not only the teacher's views, but culturally, the engagement element is kind of differs from one culture and another, that we just can we can have a huge discussion probably next time, but we just have to kind of at least make some categories of engagement before we start to discuss. And these are the categories. So or forms of engagement: intellectual engagement, emotional, behavioral, physical, social, and cultural. So teachers may create, in case of intellectual engagement, lessons, assignments, or projects that appeal to student interest or that stimulate their curiosity. For example, teachers may give students more choice over topics they are asked to write about, or they may let students choose the way they will investigate a topic or demonstrate what they have learned. So intellectual engagement. For me, as a teacher of languages, choice, it's the first thing that I kind of adopt as an engagement strategy. Just a second now. So then we have emotional engagement. Educators may use a wide variety of strategies to promote positive emotions in students that will facilitate the learning process, minimize negative behaviors, or keep students from dropping out. For me, I sing and play the music all the time, and Miss Mary, she knows that whenever I can, I play the music to kind of relax our students and the class, kind of make it more involving. And the music obviously is in Spanish. I'm a Spanish teacher. Then behavioral engagement. Teachers may establish classroom routines, use consistent cues, or assign students roles that foster behaviors more conducive to learn. Teachers may also establish consistent routines that help students stay on task or remain engaged during the class. And physical engagement. Teachers may also introduce short periods of physical activity or quick exercises. This is something that I have done all the time during the COVID. Every Friday, we were dancing Zumba on for 10-15 minutes at the beginning of the class. And really, the students love that. They were dancing together, or they were dancing together with me. They had fun. And social engagement. So for example, students may be paired or grouped to work collaboratively on project, or teachers may create academic context that students compete in. So this is something that we have been doing all the time. Students are paired, they work in group, and they kind of have a chance to discuss the topics, tasks, and they feel more comfortable. So the three factors that influence the students' engagement are teacher-student relationship. This is so important. It's a key contributor. Why? When students get along with their teachers and feel like they are seen and heard within their classroom, they are more likely to display positive indicators of engagement. So now what happens when teachers are stressed and burnout? This is a second factor. Obviously, students are more likely to show signs of disengagement. And then social emotional learning cell. This is an element that is, or factor that can impact students' behavioral, emotional, and cognitive engagement in classroom. When implemented effectively, social emotional learning practices can build positive relationship between students and teachers and improve students' sense of belonging in their school and classroom. So this was a theory. So I would stop now, because now probably we could talk about the strategies and share our experiences. But we kind of agreed with Ms. Mary that we would talk about it the next time, that we would split this lecture into kind of two parts. So relatively to this theoretical part, do you have any questions, or do you have anything that you would like to share, or you would like to know more about?
Klara, I think you have touched upon something that hits us all to the core, especially the part where you're saying you have to get to know those students. If you're not getting to know those students, then they are checking out. And I have seen it in your classroom that when you do the music and when you do those things that you consider small, it does make a huge impact on just everyone's, everyone is getting up, everyone's doing something, and that does make a serious impact.
Thank you. If I can just add something, I wouldn't be able to engage students if there were no good facilitators. So for me, if I could just say one thing, probably before the whole theory that I was now just describing, facilitator is number one for online teaching, at least in my case. If there is no facilitator, the kids just don't log in, and period. So I would love to thank our facilitators for a hard job. And I was very lucky. And I have been very lucky with facilitators.
That is true as well. And when we find a good relationship with our facilitators, that's also something where you want to hold on to that. You're like, I want to be in that school next year. I don't care what I teach, but I want to be linked with that person, because a good facilitator can make or break a classroom. That is for sure.
So Miss Mary, I don't know, do you think we have still 5 minutes, 4 minutes? Do you want me to go ahead and we go over those strategies, or?
You're more than welcome to. You're more than welcome to. I just didn't want it to be too overwhelming for anybody, but I think we've got time. We can continue.
Yeah. So it's just to wrap it up. I think that there are 2 more slides. So I think we can kind of just mention those strategies for high school students engagement. So for me, the strategy number 1, have a good relationship with a facilitator. Then there are several kind of nice strategies: a flipped classroom, peer review, discussion board, think, pair, share, quick writes, project-based learning. I am sure that you have been using all of those, or you're applying all those strategies. It's just a name for certain things that we have been doing. So flipped classroom model is practically learners get ready before the class, synchronous class starts. So they read a text, they learn, they use learning material, and then before the class starts, and then during the class, the students discuss the learning material. So this is kind of why it's called flipped classroom model. Then peer review. Students collaborate together to assist each other, so the instructor does not have to invest excessively. As a result, instructors can contribute that energy elsewhere and improve the class experience even more. I have very positive experience with this strategy. Students just like during the online classes work together with a partner. Discussion board. It's very good for shy and quiet students who reportedly perform better during online chat discussions. An online discussion board is like a chat thread focusing on a specific topic. Participants come together and leave their comments underneath and give feedback. Think, pair, share. This method provides a mate to every student and makes them work alongside. Not only do they support each other through the way, but this tactic also teaches students to coexist with others. Unlike bigger group exercises, it's more intimate and hence more effective in building student bonds. And quick writes, strategy that encourages students to jot down their confusions, comments, questions, and quickly as they go through the session, and then ask questions at the end. This exercise demands that students pay attention to the details, so they may be able to make notes on them. Quick writes, I don't have many experiences with quick writes, just because the students have kind of a they do not like writing down comments or questions. For some reason, they are shy to share or to admit that they are confused or they have questions. And project-based learning, students are assigned a project work on which they have to work independently or in groups. It demands the students to utilize all their learning and come up with a project. I have very positive experience with project-based learning. In Spanish, it works greatly. I assume in other subjects too. Students love it, and they show they can show what they know and they have fun at the same time, and they are very happy because they get grade for something that really they enjoy. So ladies and gentlemen, Miss Mary, this is it for today.